Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Pitch Talk.
We are fans of football dropping vlogs, blogs, videos and podcasts on the beautiful game.
Check out our videos on YouTube and Instagram's IGTV,
including special feature segments, vlogs such as
5 Minutes with the G,
The Straight Shooting View,
Coaching with JBK,
audio on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Podomatic, Spotify,
Mixcloud
and other podcast platforms.
Join the Pitch Talk revolution on Twitter, Instagram,
Facebook
and our official website www.pitch-talk.com.
The pitch is where we eat,
the pitch is where we sleep,
and the pitch is where we talk.
I can see you now. I can see you now and then. I can see you now.
Welcome to
Coaching with JBK. Welcome. It's your host JBK, and here is another vlog coming your way from Coaching with JBK. Just don't forget that we also have our vlogs and also blogs, everything from Pitch Talk on various different platforms, and you can see, you can hear, and you can see myself Coaching with JBK, also LJA, and also the G-Man, and you'll find us all on Apple, you'll find us on Player FM, you'll find us on Verbal as one of our new places to go in terms of podcasts, downloads, playlists, everything that you're looking for. Podomatic, YouTube, you name it, we're there. Twitter, we're all there. Okay, so got through that, but that's not where I really want this conversation to go. Yes, I'm still promoting us, and I'm promoting us because it is a perfect time to promote Pitch Talk. Why? Because the Olympics are on. So I'm happy for the Olympics because Team GB had a women's team out, and they did well for the rounds that they played in. For the first round, they had their first game against Chile, won that, beat the host Japan, and then also went and drew with Canada. They also had a good time working together as a group and as a team, and it really helped Team GB to actually go, okay, well, we now know where we're going, we now know what we're doing, we hope to end with a medal. We brought in a selective group of players that were really going to step up, and hopefully this would work. Here's the problem though. Team GB have not qualified for the Olympics. They've pretty much given a birth to playing it. And that's concerning. And there's a reason for that. So every nation, bar the host, Japan, have all had to qualify. So they know what it takes to be prepared for the Olympics. Now, I believe that this hinders the Team GB. Why? Because, yes, I understand that Team GB has a range of nations going together, where you're talking about Wales, you're talking about Scotland, you're talking about Northern Ireland, you're talking about England, and a majority of the players are from England, with the exception of a few. The issue that I find with this is not everybody knows what way they're playing nationally. Not for their teams in the WSL or the Championship or anything like that, or even in the US, as some of the English talent have gone and done. But I feel like we're now looking at players who are just being put together. They've got to be prepared within 2 to 3 weeks. And they've just got time just to kind of work things around. Now, don't forget, this whole Olympics was held back a year for COVID. That's the first thing. The second thing, before anybody got onto the plane, they had to take a minimum of 2 COVID tests before they would leave. And that's also been played into the way that everybody wanted to move forward with preparations, with knowing that they've got to get onto the plane, with people either being in the squad or being pulled out last minute, with having 5 extra players being put into the team. So the squad is naturally a number of 18, but now it's been pulled into 23 just simply because of COVID reasons, or even 22, I believe. And then you're kind of going, okay, well, why has this happened? So again, they've not had to qualify. They've been put together, and a lot of the players are from majority England. So the question would be, if Team GB are actually going to put together a football team, shouldn't this be in the pipeline 4 years from the start? Now, I don't know when they got the dispensation about having a women's or men's team for this Olympics, but it feels like nothing was prepared going forward. I do understand that Phil Neville was meant to be the Team GB coach, who then decided that he would rather go into Miami and play for and coach his old teammates' new first team, and I get that. But at the same time, it just seems like the plans were only there in motion when he was around, and anything that came after that was reactive. I'm not disparaging what happens. What I'm saying is, could Team GB have been better prepared for something on a magnitude that you can actually go and be known as an Olympic champion for the next 4 years? Just like the World Cup, just like the European Championships, just like the Gold Cup, which is still happening, ironically. Well done to the US for getting to the final, and Canada and Mexico, by the way, beating Qatar and, ironically, Qatar and, if I remember correctly, Canada. So, respectively, they're now in the final, and I think that final is on Sunday, I believe. Copa America, again, Argentina, another team that had to qualify. All of these teams have had to qualify to get to the Olympic finals. Yes, their games were played before the opening ceremony. Remember, the first games for every team, for every nation that were playing football, were all played before the opening ceremony. Then we start to ask the questions of, are you actually prepared? What is it that you've got to work towards? Where is it that you've got to go from? And did they have the opportunity to qualify? Well, no. They were put together and they just said, well, you got to qualify to be in the, you got to basically just go in. Most teams had to qualify to get there. And the team that beat Team GB today in the quarterfinals, Australia, qualified. So the question goes back to, what is it that makes up a criteria of a tournament to go and win it? Is it to qualify for it, or is it just kind of will shoehorn you in so that you can make up the numbers? So it's a question that I would leave open, but there are notable, on the back of that, there are notable and very well done performances throughout. Ellen White got a hat-trick today in Australian Team GB's last game, effectively. Well done. We also had Lucy Bronze in there, Nikita Parris coming off of the bench, had Fran Kirby going through. We also had Caroline Weir, Kim Little, Steph Houghton. So many big names that were actually putting in a performance of a lifetime just to show what they can do in tournament football. Unfortunately, a lot of them have faced heartache before, and it's happened again, but they'll bounce back. There's quite a few of them that will do. There's a lot more that can be said for Jill Scott in terms of her performance. Her performance was amazing, outstanding. You go through the team, Sophie Ingle, Millie Bright, all of these players have had a top, I would say, an impressive showing. Ellie Roebuck, all of these have had an impressive showing, and they've been involved. Georgia Stanway getting her chance. So many different ones getting their chances, and they're just young. The younger ones are getting their chances, and they're starting to come through. Where next season, if they play out of their skin, Euro 2022, we could see a completely different England side. Those who have been at the squad, great, but those who are ready to take the squad on, take it to the next level, try and get those wins, try and be the team that everybody wants to be. Try and get those sudden goals that everybody goes, wow. And the WSL is going to be full of it this season coming. The WSL is going to be full of it. So I would say, and I'm recommending, that you get down to a match at least, regardless of whether you're in Manchester, whether you're in Liverpool for Everton, whether you're down in London for Chelsea, Spurs and Arsenal. Go and get a match. Go and watch it. In Crawley for Brighton. Aston Villa, Leicester, Birmingham City. Go and watch a match as much as possible, because it's going to be worth it. I guarantee you're going to see something from this side of the game that mostly we haven't seen from women's football, which ironically was banned for 50 years in England. So that's another thing that you've got to take into consideration. And on top of this, and the best part about this, and this is really where it's going to get good, some of the teams that are bringing in players are of a standard where they're playing international football already. And one of them was the player that won the game for Australia today, and she's already played her season already. Sam Kerr, Aussie, as always. She did it. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Anyway, putting that to the side, she done what she did. She managed to get the winning goal, superb header, in off the crossbar, and it was one of those where you're just like, wow, where did that go? And it's in the back of the net, essentially. And she is, as epitomised by her manager, Emma Hayes, at Chelsea, world class, phenomenal. I went to watch her in the women's World Cup a couple years back, where she played against Jamaica, one of my founding nations. And I felt she didn't necessarily get much out of the game besides the 4 goals that she scored. And ironically, the game ended 4-1. So I'm like, wow, that's a sign of a world-class player. You don't necessarily have to be around that long or a world-class striker, I'd say. Don't have to necessarily be around on the ball that much, but your contribution says it all. Contribution just says it all, and that's who she is. So well done to Sam Kerr. She goes on to a semi-final, and let's see what happens. And I think, listen, the women's game, the men's game, it will start to see who's good, even at the under 23s age category, for those that are coming through the ranks, because that's where the rules naturally go for the men's side, where the under 23s are more allowed, whereas the older lot, the women's game, it's open play. So naturally, would Sam Kerr have been in the team if the rules were the same for the men's as well as the women's? I don't know. But the fact that she is, the fact that Vivian Miedema is in there for the Netherlands, the fact that we've seen some good performances from different squads, even Formiga for Brazil, means that we've really got something to work towards as a WSL, or just as a women's, just with the women's game. And I hope this continues, not just for the women's game, but also for just women football, just football in general. So I'm signing off. This is my vlog. Yours truly, Coaching with JBK. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. Keep strong. Focus on that mentality. Keep going. Peace. Join the Pitch Talk revolution.
Check out the official Pitch Talk website,
www.pitch-talk.com.